Assalamu alaikum, dear students and dear viewers. Our today's topic is heat, and this is for class 7th. Uh, First of all, let's try to know what's this heat. Now, heat is a form of energy. Okay, it's a form of energy which produces in us the sensation of warmth. For example, uh, if you put your hand in hot water, your hand will tell you that the water is hot. Okay, or you can define heat. Uh, as a flow of energy from a warm object to a cooler object. You must bear in mind that heat always travels from a hotter region to a cooler region, from a hot object to a cooled object. For example, sun radiates heat to warm us on the planet Earth. That means sun is hot, and we people on the Earth, we are not hot. The heat energy travels all the way from the sun to the earth, where it warms us human beings and other animals. Okay, or you can say that the example that I gave you previously, when you dip a steel spoon in a hot cup of tea, the spoon will become hot because the heat got transferred from the hot tea to the spoon. Please bear in mind there is one thing very important to remember: the direction of heat energy. Direction of heat energy. Direction of heat energy. Direction of heat energy. It always flows. It always flows from the substance of high temperature to the substance of low temperature. The substance that has high temperature, the heat will flow from that substance to the substance that has low temperature. Okay, for example, if you just if you hold a piece of ice, if you hold a piece of ice in your hand, what will happen to the hand? The piece of ice is cooler object, okay, and your hand is, it's warm, so the heat will travel from this hand to the ice cube, and this ice cube will melt. So what we understood here, that since our hand, whether right hand or left hand, its temperature was higher, the temperature of the ice cube was lower. So the heat traveled from our hand towards the ice cube, and the ice cube in our hand, it melted. It melted. So this again supports our statement that the direction that heat always flows from a substance of high temperature to the substance of low temperature. Now, in our daily lives, you must be coming across a number of objects. For example, you come across tea, ice, and so many other objects. And out of these objects, some are hot and some are cooled. In our daily lives, we come across a number of objects. Out of those objects, some objects are hot and some are cooled. For example, tea. Tea is hot. Ice cube, they are cooled. Okay, but when you touch this cup of tea, we say that tea is hot. Tea is hot. When we touch this ice cube, we say the ice is cooled. Ice is cooled. Now the question is, shall we always decide about the hotness and coolness of objects by touching them? In other ways, we can say, is our sense of touch a reliable measure of temperature? Sense of touch, is our sense of touch always a reliable reliable measure of temperature? No. The answer is big no. The answer is big no. And why, in order to understand why this sense of touch is not a reliable measure of temperature, we will have to do a very simple activity. And this activity is possibly, yes, it is very much there in our book. We will have to take three mugs. We will have to take three mugs, and we will have to label them as A, B, and C. For example, this is mug A, this is mug B, and this is mug C. Okay. What we will do, we will put cooled water in mug A. We will put hot water in mug B. We will put mixed hot and cooled water in mug C. Therefore, you have three mugs, A, B, and C. In mug A, you have hot, cooled water, and in mug B, you have hot water, and in mug C, you have mixed water. That means cooled and hot and cooled water. Now, what we got to do? Now, we will dip our left hand in mug A. Okay, left hand in mug A, and right hand in mug B. And after we have put our left hand and right hand in mug A and mug B respectively, then we will put both of our hands simultaneously in mug C. Both hands, mug C. And this mug C contains mixed hot and cooled water. Now, what will we feel after we put both of our hands in mug? Okay, when we put our left hand in this mug A, it contains cooled water, so possibly our left hand will tell you that the water inside this mug A is cooled. Then we put our right hand in mug B, it contains hot water, and our right hand will tell us that the water is hot. But once we put both of our hands simultaneously in the this mug C, our left hand, which was in the cooled water, it will tell us that the water in the mug C is hot. Okay. And our right hand, which was in the hot water, now it has been, we put the same hand in the this mixed water, it will tell us that the water inside the mug C is cooled. Okay. Now what we will deduce here. Now both of our hands, right hand and left hand, now they got the different perceptions of heat. The left hand will tell us that the water in mug C is hot, and the right hand will tell us that the water in mug C is cooled. So if our hands cannot agree on whether the water is warm or cooled, how come the sense of touch be a reliable means of measuring the heat? Hence, we can say that the sense of touch is not something very reliable, is not something that we can rely on. Therefore, we need a reliable measure. We need a reliable measure of temperature. Reliable measure of temperature. And this reliable measure of temperature is called as thermometer. Thermometer. Okay. Therefore, but before we move on and study about the thermometers, we must know what is temperature actually. The simple definition of temperature is that it is the degree of hotness of an object. Okay. Now what we have been able to realize up till now, that our sense of touch is not a reliable measure of temperature. To measure the temperature accurately, we need an instrument. And this instrument is called as thermometer. Now, there are two types of thermometer. Now, I will define thermometer later on, but first of all, we need to know that thermometers are of two types. the thermometer that we use that we use to measure the temperature of our body. Temperature of our body. This thermometer is called as clinical thermometer. Clinical thermometer. It is used by doctors to measure the temperature of human body. It is put under the tongue, okay, for some time. Then the doctor takes out that temperature, this thermometer, to know the temperature of our body, okay. But to measure the temperature of these liquids like water and other things, we need a special type of thermometer, and that thermometer is called as laboratory thermometer. Laboratory thermometer. Therefore, we have two types of thermometers. One is clinical thermometer, another is laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer is the one which is used to measure the temperature of human body, and clinical thermometer, laboratory thermometer is the one which is used to measure the temperatures of water and other liquids as well. And inshallah, in the next lesson, we will have a detailed discussion on thermometer and how it works. Thank you very much.